And so in that span of me being unemployed, I did some upskilling. So I continued learning JavaScript and I continued learning React. And what else did I do? I forgot what else, but I was just learning and building projects and working on my portfolio website. Yes, I was building my portfolio website that time so that when I start applying for jobs, I have a portfolio website.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. It's your favorite tech sisters here. My name is Nomfundo Ndala. Welcome back. And you already know I don't write solo. I'm with my co-host.
Hi everyone, I am Tobeka Shabalala. Welcome back to our channel.
Yes, so today we have another guest, and I think this is going to be a very favorite episode for a lot of people because you guys have been asking us to bring someone who is able to break into the tech industry without a CS degree. And we have Trecia. Welcome.
Welcome, Trecia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us about Trecia. Like, who's Trecia? If someone had to say, tell me about yourself. I know that's a loaded question, but
introduction. How I would okay, so Trecia is, I don't know, I'm shy.
okay.
And I'm terrible with introductions.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm someone who would go out of their way to make things happen for themselves. So yeah,
Go get.
I'm a go-getter, guys.
Okay, that's lovely.
So tell us, tech, what initially drove you to tech? And I mean, tell us more, like what motivated you firstly? I mean, also see, like as we mentioned, you don't have a CS degree, but what motivated you into this career?
Well, it wasn't by choice, ne?
Okay.
Initially, I didn't want to be in the tech industry.
Okay.
I wanted to be a pharmacist. I wanted to get into medicine. So start off as a pharmacist, then move on to surgeon.
So you wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
But the metric maths, it was tough.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pursue that career path, and I decided to opt for graphic design.
Okay.
So I'm someone who likes to do graphic designing, art. The passion started from PowerPoints and stuff like that. So I used to do that for fun, to design things for fun. But I also did not pursue that because I found that in graphic designing, there's high supply than in demand jobs. So it was going to be hard for me to find a job. And so I opted for tech. Like my father has always been saying, "Hore, go into tech, do tech." And so I was like, okay, since I am someone who has experience using a computer and all that stuff, I might as well just go into programming. And yeah, that's how I got into it. It wasn't a first choice. It was more like a last option for me. Yeah.
So, okay, like I know maybe from when you like we're still in high school, we don't have much knowledge about tech. You know, we know this tech industry, but how did you come about knowing that there's actually something called programming? And also, I just want to ask, like, how did maybe what led your father to saying opt for tech? Because a lot of our parents know nursing, doctor, policeman. And if it comes to engineering, they know the civil and electrical, mechanical engineering. But, you know, how did we get there?
Well, in terms of when I was in high school, my goal was just to pass well enough to get into the medicine field.
Yeah.
Ne? But then we did have those, I don't know what to call them, but you know when people come to schools from
Career
colleges, like career expos and stuff like that. And so most of the time they were talking about tech, being in the tech industry. They didn't specifically say programming, but they said find a career in tech, do something within technology, IT, because people don't struggle to find jobs that side. And with my father, he has always been someone who who just believe that tech is the right industry to be in because you'll never be out of a job.
So he was a little bit like knowledgeable when it came to the tech industry.
My father is well versed in computers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
software, networking, like that's his thing.
Okay,
and
makes
it's not his profession. His profession, he's a paramedic firefighter.
Okay.
But he does computer software
Okay.
in his own space, in his own time. And he's learning how to program BMW. And so I think he was pushing me to like get into that space of being a programmer. And so, yeah, that's how it came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. And I mean, how did you navigate this industry? And maybe before we get there, what path did you take to get into tech? Your father is encouraging you. You've learned about tech. What is the path that you are taking to get there?
The path I took was initially it was college, right? Because that's how we're programmed to believe that once you finish matric, you're going to college, you're going to study for a number of years, then look for a job. So initially that was my plan. I went to Damelin to do a diploma in 3 years. And yeah, that's how I kind of like got the gist of what modules or subjects I need to kind of like get the knowledge I need to start programming, if that makes sense.
So, sorry, just to cut you there. So, what did you study at Damelin?
Diploma in IT.
Oh, so it's just broad IT.
Yeah, it's just that. It's not specific.
Okay.
Yeah. So the modules I did for the time I was there, it was accounting, information systems, programming, and networking.
Okay.
Yeah, just 4 things.
All right.
And
how long was this? 3 years?
yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
But then I dropped out.
Okay.
I didn't last a year.
You lie.
I'm telling you, no.
Sure.
I knew after March. I knew after lockdown, when they announced lockdown, COVID.
Yeah.
I knew I'm not gonna go back there.
So you started. That means in 2020.
Yeah.
Wait, when we were in lockdown?
2020.
2020
Yeah.
March when it was
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you did you were doing your first year at Damelin in 2020. Okay.
Okay.
And then when they said lockdown, you say, I'm not going back.
Yeah, I just knew. I just made up my mind. I was like, no, I'm paying too much.
Is it?
Yeah, I was like, I'm paying too much when I can teach myself how I can code with YouTube. Because my time there, I was at, should I even mention the branch?
But wait, is Damelin no longer existing now?
Does it not exist anymore?
Well, it was disqualified.
Yeah, it's not accredited anymore.
I didn't know. Okay.
So I think you can name and shame.
I'll keep it under wraps.
Do you have money for lawyers? So let's know.
But the branch I was at, they didn't have, like, the teachers were resigning, the lecturers, they were resigning. We started, they opened late, number one.
Okay.
I think I only attended about 4-5 classes before lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, and like there was just so much going on, disorganized. And so a lot of the times we just found ourselves without a lecturer in our rooms. And you had to resort to using YouTube or something just to learn something concerning the subject, And it just made me realize that
I can do this.
I can do this on my own. Why am I paying to be here physically if I'm going to use YouTube?
Okay.
Makes
And
sense.
so that's what prompted me to decide that I don't want to go back. I want to teach myself how to code.
So now I'm imagining, okay, you come back home and you're like, to your parents, guys,
Hey.
I'm just going to teach this. I'm going to teach these things by myself. Like, I'm going to learn this on YouTube. How did your parents take that you want to drop out? Because I'd probably be disowned.
That was the thoughts. I was like, hey, I must get ready to pack my things.
And it's even worse because then your father said, go and study tech.
It was scary, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I had to, and I told them, I think May or June.
Sure.
After you've after you've done
After I've decided that I don't want to go, you can imagine how much courage I had to master
yeah.
to just say that I don't want to go back there. So how I did it was that I made some research as to what are the benefits of just teaching myself how to code.
Okay.
And I put the pros and cons together. And when I told my father, I told him that with me teaching myself, you don't have to spend any money. You won't have to be in debt. I don't like debt. Even if I was not the one paying, I just don't want someone to be indebted in my name, you know?
Financially.
Yeah,
blackmailing him.
financially, yes. And I was like, and also we don't have lecturers, so you'll be paying for nothing. At least I can draw up a timetable where I can dedicate some time to teach myself something. And if it doesn't work out for a specific number of months, then I will consider going back to college. And so I think I'm missing a lot of things, but then I drew up a plan to kind of like make my own statement to defend myself as to why I'm deciding to do this. And so I think it helped to kind of like have the pros and cons and to also put a time frame that if I don't reach this level or my goal within this month, then I'll go back to college. And that's how they took it. Yeah.
I think I'd be interested in the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Ish.
Maybe you can just share a few, 5, even if it's just 5. 5 pros and cons that you feel are
Okay.
versus CS versus teaching yourself, basically.
Well, when it comes to tertiary education, the cons mostly is that they teach outdated technologies.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, a lot of the technology they taught, because I was surprised when I was at Damilan, they were teaching us Visual Basic. I was like, who uses that? Who uses Visual Basic? Like, teach me something I'm going to use at the workspace or something. And also, they don't give you like workplace experience. Like, they don't expose you to that kind of work. And also it's mostly like theory. You're not gonna be coding a lot, and so I felt like that was limiting. And what else? You're going to be in debt. Like I said, I want to avoid debt as much as possible. And what else is there? Yeah, I think mostly for me it's expensive. It's time consuming. Yes, it's time consuming. I don't want to find a job in the next 5 years. I want a job now.
I want money.
I want money now. And so, yeah, that kind of like made me, helped make me see what I wanted to do and what I wanted to pursue. And so with self-taught, it has more, I'll say, cons than education, like tertiary education, because number one, you don't know if you're gonna make it by yourself. You have to push yourself. No one is gonna be there to tell you learn this, learn that, submit this. So I have to pull myself and be my own teacher in a way. And also you're gonna have a lot of doubt because you don't know if what you're learning is it the right thing? Am I learning the right thing or not? And also, a lot of people are not going to consider you because you don't have a degree. You don't have any qualifications to your name. And so people are just going to see you and say, oh, okay, you say you can do this, but where's the qualification for that? You know? And another thing is, I guess it's just, you're just going to be by yourself because when I was learning how to code, it was just me. There was no one else who was doing what I was doing. And so it was kind of difficult to find someone I can lean on to say that we're in this together, you know. And so I think those are one of the challenges I had as a self-taught dev. Yeah.
So now I want to go back to that COVID period. So, okay, you've told your parents and the understanding and stuff like that. So you are starting the learning now and you're like, okay, let me learn programming. Let me learn computer science or software development, whatever the case may be. How did you go about that? What did you learn? And after that, like, I need to, you told your dad that, like, after certain period of time, if I'm not successful, I'll go back. So I'm assuming you didn't go back, so it was successful.
Yeah.
So just take me through that.
Okay, so how did I start? Well, my cousin, she wanted to start a hair care business. She actually did. She started a hair care business. And she was looking for someone to build a website for her.
Okay.
And so she wanted someone she knew could get the job done. And so she knows that I'm into the whole designing. I'm someone who likes to design and stuff like that. She has seen my stuff. And so she wanted me to kind of like build a website for her. But at that time, I didn't know anything about web development. I didn't know anything. Even in college, what I was learning, it was more software related than web development. And so I didn't know what to do. But then because, hey, I like her so much.
Cousin, if you're watching this, they like you so much.
Yeah, man, I love her a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm going to search how to make a website for you and I'm going to build it.
Okay.
And so on my search results, there was this YouTube channel, Traversy Media.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had his whole web development path or something like that.
Yeah.
And I watched the video and I saw that, okay, so to make a website, you need to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And I was like, oh man, this is simple. HTML is easy. And so I was like, okay, let me attempt to do some simple HTML form or something. And I did that. And I was like, okay, I actually like this web development because I would say it resonates with me a lot as someone who likes to design stuff because it's going to allow me to put my ideas into code in form of websites and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so it's like graphic designing and coding at the same time. And so I was like, this is a perfect field for me to break into tech. I didn't think of anything else.
Okay.
And my main focus was to be a front-end developer. And so I spent some time doing research on what free platforms can I learn how to code. And I discovered FreeCodeCamp.
Okay.
And that's how I started to kind of like learn and do a bit of, how can I say this? Not code submissions, but to have a structured learning curriculum because they have a structured learning curriculum. And so I followed that. And until you were asking about being successful. So
In the time period you gave yourself.
yeah. And so while I was learning, I created a blog for myself
Okay.
where I wrote about CSS.
Okay.
I grew to love CSS a lot. And so I started to write about it. And because I was also networking with people on Twitter, I was simultaneously working on growing my presence on Twitter
Okay.
and also blogging. And so growing my presence on Twitter, I got to network with people outside South Africa, which was not the plan, but it just happened.
Okay.
It just happened. And so I got to network with people and people knew people and I connected with those people. And so I think 6 months or 5 months into learning, I got an opportunity from Daniel. He's based in USA. And he wanted someone who was good at CSS and HTML.
Okay.
So I told him that I'm still learning, I'm still like new at this. And he was like, no, this is a perfect opportunity for you to learn.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have you on board, And that's how I got into the whole remote work and stuff like that. And so yeah.
In the time frame of you learning, you got a job, basically.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, shout out
Wow,
Daniel.
yeah. And so
Wow.
is this a company or is he a freelancer who also just does?
I'd say he's a freelancer.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I think it's his company as well, but it's quite small.
Okay, so it's
Maybe
like a startup.
like 3-4 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a startup, but he just basically hires people, specific people, to help him work
On a
on some projects.
Okay.
So you'd find
okay.
that he probably gets like maybe has 10 projects and he obviously can't do them by
Yeah,
himself.
yeah. So he hired me basically for CSS because he was like, I'm not touching anything styling.
Yeah.
So that's how I got the job.
Okay.
So essentially, I'm going to assume that your cousin was the one that actually pushed you to web development side.
I'd say how can I say it? Yeah, just her asking me to make a website for her was like me discovering what I wanted without knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to go at is the fact that when you doing your first year and stuff like that, you don't know that this back end, this front end, there's all of these different careers in tech. So you discovering that there's actually web development and front end development, then was your cousin asking you to build a website. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So I think the next question was going to be challenges breaking into tech. But from what you're saying, you didn't have a challenge breaking into tech. But are there any challenges that you feel like you can highlight besides getting this one job for a project? Because projects end, right? So how, like any challenges that you got navigating into this space?
I mean, learning how to program is difficult.
Yeah.
It's tough. That was the challenge. Every day I was like, maybe JavaScript, I'll never be good at it. And I'm still not. But then I was like, hey, it's over for me because I can't get past CSS. I'm only good at HTML and CSS. And to be a front-end dev, you need to
have all
have
of them.
JavaScript, React, to get all those technologies. And so, oh, yes. And another thing, there's a lot to learn.
True.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's like, oh my goodness, do I have to know everything? Do I have to master everything? Like, and no one is here to tell me. And also another challenge with me is that I'm an introvert. I don't like approaching people. I'd rather suffer and die in silence. And so the challenge is to like get out of my comfort zone and reach out to people, join communities, be with people who are in the same situation as yourself. And even so, being in a community, I still have to raise my voice up and just have that spotlight on me for a moment, which I don't like. But, that's one of the challenges. And because I'm self-taught, it's hard to like, I don't know, to be picked, because most people, they prefer people with qualifications. And you see with job requirements, so like required CS degree, whatnot. And so that's kind of like discouraging, because you spend all this time learning only to find that they're not going to hire you because you don't have a qualification. And another challenge would be the no experience. In tech, it's ridiculous how they want you to have experience as an entry level.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like 3 years, 4 years minimum. I'm like,
Sometimes
how?
they want an honors.
How?
I'm just trying to get a job.
Hey, boo, like, how am I going to get experience if you're not going to hire me?
Yeah, we need to ask these recruiters.
And also, like, there's a scarcity, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Like, junior jobs are so scarce.
Yeah.
So scarce
Are
for
they?
me. Yeah, for me, they are.
I think there's a lot.
Junior positions.
You know what? It's funny. There's a lot of jobs, but they aren't jobs.
Heish.
Like, there's a lot of...
because it is because of the requirements, as she say.
But not everyone is going to meet the requirements. Just hire us.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge.
Heish, yeah.
Okay.
And I think the final one would be tech interviews are hard. They're very hard.
Yeah, why are you giving me a test?
Now you have to. Fortunately, I haven't done any live coding. Fortunately,
Okay.
not yet.
You are so lucky.
Heish. but they are hard because now they're gonna ask you all of these questions.
Yeah.
Everything that you have
Scary.
listed in your skills, every language you have there, they're gonna ask you something about it, and you're gonna have to
Yeah.
remember everything. Like, yo, it's tough. It's tough. And I don't know if this one, I'd say this one is for me because I've always interviewed for remote jobs outside SA. The
Okay.
interviews are long. So you'd have to interview for like 5-6 rounds. And they could last for like a month or two, just so you could be rejected.
And then they don't hire you after all this.
After all, yeesh.
Is there a reason for that, or is this it's just how it is?
It's just how it is. Like, you have to pass every level of the interview.
True.
And if you don't make it, you don't make it. So
Yeah,
that's...
but I've heard with like companies like Google and Microsoft.
6 though.
Yeah, like
It's
What
more
are
than
they
6
asking
some.
you? 6.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you.
Sure.
Well, with my previous company, it was... Okay, the first call was introductory.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
to talk with the tech acquisition.
so. This is a broad company.
Yes.
Okay.
The previous company I worked at. So the first one was just introduction, like, who are you? What do you want? The second one was the call with the hiring manager, the person you're going to work with.
Okay.
The third one was the technical interview.
Okay.
And fourth was the technical assessment. Like, you had to do a presentation of what you worked on.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to give you an assignment and you're going to have to do a presentation, walk someone through your code.
Okay.
The fifth one was value assessment.
Okay.
So that's where the situational and what are you going to do if this happens and whatnot.
Okay.
The sixth was the team meeting. Like, you're going to meet
Culture.
potential team
Okay.
members, see how you guys fit in. Like, do they like you? Kanjani. Then the seventh was the closing call. So that one is to say, if you got the job, this is what's going to happen. If you didn't get the job, this is why you didn't get the job.
Oh, so they actually explain.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
After,
And so,
after 6
sure.
rounds.
yeah, it took me
But
2
it's a
months
lot,
to interview
though.
at that job. It's a
a
lot.
lot.
It's a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So now that we've spoken about, the challenges that you went through in breaking into tech, I just quickly want to ask, so FreeCodeCamp was actually what you used
Yeah.
to learn programming, well, obviously with the aid of YouTube and everything like that. So was it self-paced, or did you have an instructor and you had to like submit assignments?
Okay. No, FreeCodeCamp is self-paced.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no instructor there.
So you just do...
Yeah, it's just you finish task 1, task 2, not even task, what is this? Like, each model, each subject, it's different.
Okay.
And there's an exercise at the end of each one, I think. But yeah, it's self-paced.
And how long was the FreeCodeCamp that you did for web development? Like, maybe it would say this is going to take you 2 months, 4 months. How long was it?
No, it doesn't say. It's up to
Oh,
you.
it's up to you. So
Yes.
okay.
someone can finish it in 6 months, someone can finish it in
Yeah.
4 months, and so
Yeah.
on. Okay, no, that makes sense. Because then I just want to go through your journey. Okay, so now we are at the fact that you're able to build an online presence to, put yourself out there, and that's how you got with, is it David?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
So that's how you're able to get with Daniel.
Yeah.
So after Daniel and he's put you on, what from there? What happened?
Okay, from there, because Daniel was the first remote opportunity I had.
And that was in
Okay.
5 months of you learning.
Yes, yes. And so from January 2021, that was my contract ending with
Okay.
him.
Okay.
And so from there, I stayed unemployed until July 21. So in that time frame of unemployment,
Yeah.
I was continuing my learning on FreeCodeCamp because I didn't finish it in a year.
Okay.
I only got my certificate last year, December. That's how long it took me.
Okay.
And also, it wasn't the only resource I was using. So I'm someone who doesn't depend on one I don't like to learn on one thing, because you
Okay.
find that other resources, they explain much better than this, you know. So yeah, it took me a while to finish that responsive web design course. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And so in that span of me being unemployed, I did some upskilling. So I continued learning JavaScript, and I continued learning React. And what else did I do? I forgot what else, but I was just learning and building projects and working on my portfolio website. Yes, I was
Okay.
building my portfolio website that time, so that when I start applying for jobs, I have a portfolio website. And so it was just a time frame where I was just upskilling, learning, having some projects to have on my portfolio website, working on my GitHub, uh, creating a README for each and every project I had on GitHub. And yeah, I think that's what I did. And I interviewed for a developer advocate intern role, July 2021. That's when I got the job and started working at my previous company.
So what's a developer advocate?
Basically, how I can explain it is, it's I'll say it's a developer sales role. It's not exactly sales, but it's kind of like someone who has a software engineering background, who is able to sell the product of the company they work at. And so developer advocacy has four main components, which is development, which is coding basically, and then we have awareness, which is creating campaigns to developers about the product that you're working at. So I'll just speak for myself. So Strappy, what we did was we would have a lot of tech, what is this, Twitter spaces. So we
Okay.
can talk about Strappy, or we can make some YouTube shorts to talk about the product. So basically bringing awareness, attention to Strappy as a product.
Okay.
And deving, so Strappy is a back-end content management system. So it allows you to create APIs without using code.
Okay.
So you just hop on the UI, you create your API there without having to do any back-end coding at all.
Interesting.
And so my teammate at the time, he was mostly into the engineering stuff. So if someone had encountered an issue with maybe installing Strappy in their local machine, he would just bring it to the engineering team's attention, or he would go himself and fix the problem, adding his own code and whatnot. And the third one is community building. So as a dev advocate, you are going to build a community around the product. So community management, community events, just talking to people. Hey, how are you finding our product? What would you like to improve? And yeah. And the last one is conferences. So going to conferences, talk about Strappy, and teach people about Strappy, and also making content, tutorials, improve documentation. So it's a whole diverse role.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I can explain
And
it.
how did you how did you survive that as
I
an
want to
introvert?
ask that because she's also an introvert.
So with me, I actually like the job, even though I'm not planning on going back to doing it anytime soon, because I just love software engineering. I just wanted to
Coding
code.
itself.
I just
Okay.
wanted to code, and I still want to code. I just want to get better at coding before I could go back into that kind of role, because you're not gonna code. I think I don't like the aspect of not being able to code, because I'm losing what I worked
That's
so hard
true. Yeah.
to gain. And so yeah, how I navigated is, it was quite simple for me, because I'm someone who's a content creator.
Okay.
And so I just loved that I could do this, but for my company. And so it felt like you're just being on social media. You're
practicing.
communicating with people. As much as I don't like Bato like that, I don't like people like that. I am an extrovert at work.
Yes.
I don't mind. So yeah, it was easy to navigate. And also, since I was an intern, I wasn't given a lot of work
Okay.
load, and so my workload, it was manageable. And yeah, I liked that role. It was nice.
And then you mentioned other resources other than.
Yeah.
So for someone out there maybe who says, I either don't want to do the whole CS degree or honestly they don't have the funds to go to a traditional college. What other resources besides the one that you mentioned?
FreeCodeCamp.
Yeah.
Oh, there are quite a lot, eh? But I'd say my
Maybe
main
top
one.
3, top 4?
Okay, so video wise, YouTube wise,
Okay.
definitely has to be Traversy Media.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a lot of great advice. He helped shape my path, like what to take, what to do. He's very influential, I'd say.
Okay.
So Traversy Media, number 1, YouTube. Number 2 is Dave Gray. So Dave Gray, I like him because, you know, like when someone explains things as to why do they put that function there and why do they name this variable this way, why do they reference, like he explains thoroughly, and I like how he explains his things.
Okay.
And so it's like he's holding your hand. He understands that you don't know anything and I'm going to take you through it. And that's what I like about Dave Gray, his channel. And the third one is the Net Ninja. The Net Ninja, I feel like he's giving me a hug because that man that man is good, Shim. He is good. He teaches things that are relevant to what I am learning. Okay. It's like if I'm learning a new tech stack, I wonder if he has it. And yes, he has it. Like, thankfully, thank goodness he has it. And he explains very nice. Same with Dave Gray. Like, they're very nice, those people. So that's YouTube-wise. And then website-wise, we have FreeCodeCamp because it's free. It has a structured curriculum. Like, it has step-by-step. Like, if you finish this, you can do this, do that, do that. And so that's what I like about it. And the third one is W3 Schools.
Okay.
That one I like it so much because it's like it explains straight to the point. Yeah. But what I like most about it is that they have examples. They have like what is this? An in-browser IDE where
you can practice.
Yeah, they have those examples where you can just play around with them. And I like that a lot. And the third one is scrimba.com. Okay. So scrimba.com, what I like about it is that you're doing interactive learning. So what that means is that you're going to be watching the video, right? You're going to be watching whichever tutorial you're watching. But you also have that ability to edit the video while you're watching it. And so you can pause, you can make your notes, and that's how you learn. You learn by doing. Okay. And so you can go back to the point where you made your notes in the video and continue editing. And so it's a nice way of learning. It's free. It also has paid courses, which I think they're worth it. Okay. The instructors they're very nice. They explain clearly, and scrimba.com definitely would recommend anyone to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just want to highlight the fact that you, had to come out of your shell, put yourself out there to actually get maybe your first job. And so someone sitting at home and, they teaching themselves how to program and how to code, and they want to, but, they're too shy to get out of the shell, and, they want to be out there, but they're not confident enough.
Yeah.
So how would you advise that?
Hey guys, just do it. Honestly, that's how I did it. I was like, yes, I'm afraid of people. Yes, I don't like talking to people. But if I don't do anything about it, then I'm not going to be where I want to be. I'll do it afraid. I'll do it scared. I'll do it shaking. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because
love that.
here I am now, and so just do it. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but do it. Yeah.
Love that. And so are you still a developer advocate?
No,
So you're doing
soft
programming.
engineering. Yeah.
How did you get into that? Because I also want to go to the fact that, you mentioned how you doubted when you don't have a CS degree. So how did you navigate actually finding jobs?
Ooh.
So let's start with the developer advocate role.
Yeah.
But she mentioned how she got into that, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about now the developer advocate. Was it a contract?
Internship.
So it was an internship and then it ended.
Yeah.
So when it ended, now you're unemployed again. Sure, so much unemployment,
Ish.
girl. So okay, so you're unemployed again.
Yeah.
And then you have to find another job. How do you do that? Looking at the fact that you don't have a CS degree in a country that has very high unemployment rate and you are doubted, like you said, how do you now say, look, guys, trust me, I can write the CSS?
I'd say it helps to have a portfolio website.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely does help because you can showcase what you've built.
Okay.
And when you mentioned the tech stack, in interviews, it's all about selling yourself. Hey?
True.
You have to sell yourself that I have done this, I have done that. And yes, I may not be familiar with this language, but I have the will to learn it. That's how I think that's how I got my current job, because I was like, when I looked at the company tech stack, I was like, no, I don't know anything. Honestly. So how I got my current job. But no, let me just speak about my unemployed period, because hey, even that one, it's kind of I learned a lot that tech interviews are hard, like I said. Ish, this thing of applying, you're gonna get rejected. It's a painful thing, honestly, because as you get more rejections, you're going to start thinking, "Hore, you're not good enough. I'm the problem. I'm not good enough. Yes, this is a junior position, but am I junior enough to be applying here, So it was tough. I did land a few interviews. I did interview for quite some time, but then I learned how to be better. I learned how to better talk about technical stuff, and not just me, like soft skills, just technical stuff. Because in the beginning, I was focusing on, maybe because I'm a nice person, I'll get this job.
They'll hire me for my personality.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, charisma will help me here. But no, guys, no, it doesn't work that way. So it also helps to also answer questions that they ask you. Don't go through the corners. Just answer what they ask you, hey? And so these interviews, as much as I didn't get the jobs that I wanted, they just showed me how to be better, how to sell myself better, how to answer questions better,
Okay.
And to be to the point, because you don't want to go yapping without any meaningness. So it was tough. And how I got my current job was that, so I think I started looking for a job in April, because for my contract, my internship, it ended in January. So February, March, I was just enjoying that time, not doing anything. So I wasn't in a rush to find a job. I started looking mid-April, applying to jobs until October. So that whole period, I was interviewing, not getting the positions, turning down positions as well. And and in that time frame, I also worked on just making my profile as a soft engineer more prominent, or like,
So
yeah.
you were turning down jobs when you were unemployed.
Yes, hey.
Know your worth, my sister.
I was like, no, I can't accept this. As much as I need a job, some people, they take advantage of that thing that you're unemployed. So we're gonna offer you this and this and that, but it's not matching up to the level of experience that I have. So I just felt that no, I'm not gonna take the job.
No.
Yeah.
I want to understand. But you didn't have much experience.
Even so. Even so.
It's called Know Your Worth.
Know my worth. What?
In South Africa. Know your worth. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Because people are gonna pay you low just because you're unemployed, and so I was like, no, I'm not gonna take that chance. As much as
okay.
Because another thing is, most of these jobs, they're in Sandton, they're in Centurion, and when you look at the pay, and I live in Springs, most of my money is gonna go transport, so it wasn't worth it. I was like, it's fine. So
But didn't you feel like, let me take this job, and then whilst I'm continuing looking for something, and then
I considered that, but I was like, nah, it's fine. I live with my parents.
Comfortably. You know what? I think we can speak forever about tech because I can tell you're passionate about it. Like it oozes out of you. You're very passionate about tech, and you could talk forever. But I think just to kind of come back to a place where we are encouraging someone out there, right? If you were to do it differently in any way, what would you do differently in your path that you took? And also someone out there sitting saying they want to get into tech, what advice do you have for them?
What I would do differently. Firstly, I'd say I'd start with, that's a tough one. I'd start working simultaneously on my online presence, number one, because it's actually powerful. That's how I got most of my jobs, because someone knows me from somewhere online. And so I'd work on my online presence, start sharing my stuff online, what I'm building, what I'm learning, what goals I have within tech that I'd like to reach. Network with people who are way out of your league, like as much as I don't know anything, like network with the people who you want to end up like,
Okay.
If this person is working in Google, like find a way to network with them or no. Yeah, so that's how I would start. And secondly, the resources that I have, I'd start with scrimba.com. So with me, how I started learning was just doing the theory. And I wasn't doing by building. I wasn't learning by building. And so I would start learning by building, like to build more projects, because you get better by building. And so I wouldn't shy away from that. And for someone who wants to get into tech, that was the question? Yeah. That one is tough because in tech there's a lot. There's a lot of fields, You'd have to know what you want to build, I guess, or what. It's tough. That's a tough one. Because, like I said, there's a lot. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to build mobile apps? Do you want to work in robotics?
So find your niche.
Like find your niche. Yes, like just spend some time thinking about, if I get into tech, what is more appealing to me? What field is appealing? And maybe reach out to people who do those different fields. Kind of like, what do you do as a backend developer? What do you do as a front-end dev? Just ask each and everyone, like, how their day looks like. What do I need to learn to get into this? And maybe if you get insight from them, it's going to help you decide what resonates most with you. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense,
yeah. Find your niche, basically. Yeah.
Do you wish that you could have gone the varsity way, or are you happy with the path of self-taught that you've took?
Nah, I'm happy where I am.
Okay.
No regrets.
As long as you're happy, show me.
I'm happy because, I don't know if I should say this, but I have found that at the company I work at, there are a lot of self-taught devs.
Okay.
And the people who went the route of tertiary education, they find that whatever they were learning there, it's very different from what they're doing at work. So they
That
feel
can
like
be
they
true.
wasted their time, they wasted their money.
Okay.
And also they have found that even though they have a degree, they're not earning as much as the ones who are self-taught. And so
Okay.
yeah, I think from those reasonings, I feel like I took the right path. Yeah, no regrets.
Another one. See, we are in a very male-dominated industry. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Sure, I'm such a tiny little woman in this male-dominated industry.
Yeesh, I felt it when I was in college because we were like only 2 or 3 girls.
Really?
Yeah, and then the rest were boys. It's like, yo.
Okay.
But at
But
work,
working now, yeah.
I don't think. No, man. At work, I feel fine. You know,
Yeah.
Is
as
it
much
because you're
as
remote, maybe?
no, it's hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hybrid. We go to the office. At work, as much as so within my team, it's only 2 females. It's me and my other teammate. But we don't feel indifferent. Like no one makes us feel small. No one is gonna now kind of, what do they call it, mansplain stuff to you as if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's for me, my work environment, all my work environments have been pleasant.
Okay.
They encourage more women to the team, and they encourage diversity basically. And so I've never felt out of place. I've never felt small. I've never felt indifferent. I'm treated just the same, and
anyone else.
yeah, as everyone else.
And you've never felt the need to constantly prove yourself because you don't have a CS degree?
No.
Okay. No,
It's very nice. I love my team so much and the work environment
the
basically.
environment.
I think
Yes.
the environment comes to play because, sometimes you'd find that sometimes I feel that I still need to prove myself.
Yes, it's the environment.
But yeah,
doesn't-
so I think you're in a very healthy working
It
environment.
is.
And
Yeah.
that makes work pleasant. So
I'd say the only aspect where I felt like I had to improve myself, it's technical wise.
yeah.
Okay.
Of
Not
course.
gender, but technical wise, to say that I am a junior. I deserve to be here. I need to build something extravagant and whatnot.
Okay.
That's the only pressure I felt. But it was unnecessary pressure because they know I'm a junior, I don't know anything. And so they just created that kind of environment to say that you're here to learn. We don't expect you to know everything. And so, yeah, it's a very nice, healthy work environment. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Any closing remarks?
No, man. I think I'm seeing her passion.
Yeah, she is.
That's something that, like, she is so passionate about tech, and I think it's because you worked your way through it. So I think for me, closing remarks would be, I mean, don't let finances, stand in your way. If you do want to get into tech, like we always mention, there's so many things to do in tech. Go out there, get it done. And I think I like the fact that even as an introvert, we can speak. Let's speak. Let's get out there, So yeah, that for me would be my closing remarks.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions around are boot camps worth it? And it proves that yes, they are.
It is, yeah.
And someone had also asked that do you need metric? Do you need metric for FreeCodeCamp? You don't.
No.
Yeah. So whether you have metric or not, you can actually break into tech. And I think that selling yourself, Trecia is a very good example of how you can sell yourself and put yourself out there. Because if you're living in that coconut shell of yours, you will be unemployed for the rest of your life. So
And I think another thing for people with influence, like give people a chance. You
Yeah.
never know.
Definitely.
Because I think you've proven that you didn't have the degree, which is something they always put top of the list. But honestly, is it the be all and end all if we've got people like you who are able to then say, I taught myself, I did projects, I can show you my work. As much as I can't show you a paper, I can show you my work.
Yeah.
So I guess for people in influence, like give people a chance, especially in tech, since you learned and you found your way into it.
Louder for those at the back.
Yes.
Give people a chance. So yeah.
Man.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot from that. And, you can follow us on social media. We are the Tech Sisters. You can also follow Trecia. We'll leave her handles on our bio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, comment, share with a friend, and this helps our channel and community grow. You never know if this will reach whoever might want to hear this. So from us, until next time.
Thank you so much, Trecia, for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Skadoosh. Bye.